Hello, welcome to the Sunday Shale Show. My name is Mike Chadsey, and today I'm joined by Portage County Commissioner Tommie Marsilio. Tommie, how are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. Well, thanks for joining us today. What I wanted to talk to you a little bit about was your county, Portage County, as an elected official, as an attorney in town, a community leader, as far as energy development, oil and gas development. What's kind of the feel around town today? What are people saying, or what kind of questions do folks have?
People are very enthusiastic. Obviously, it's a time where families need money, people need jobs. So there's a lot of enthusiasm. Probably some of the most popular questions I get is really based on bad information sometimes. So I have a lot of questions about the safety of energy exploration. There's some bad information about there in terms of the depth of the wells. Is this going to make my well water bad?
Sure.
And you and I know that question is has an easy answer, but people don't know that. They get bad information sometimes.
That's good.
So I try to give answers to that and assure them that it's safe, that we've been doing fracking in Ohio since the 1950s, actually.
Long time.
And nothing. We really don't have any documented incidences of injuries or bad problems at all. So try to help people understand how safe it really is. But enthusiasm is high for the jobs associated with it.
Well, that's good, and I think that's what we try to talk about too. And really, from an industry perspective, it's our responsibility to be open, honest, and transparent with anybody in any particular community to make sure, one, that their questions get answered and their concerns get addressed.
Sure. Because
that's the only way this whole thing moves forward. So, kind of put your commissioner hat on for me on the county level. Is there anything that the county has done either for economic investment or infrastructure development, or maybe any other rules or regulation, or anything that you've done in particular to assist this industry or to assist the community, or how have you moved this ball down the field in Portage County?
Well, we don't, of course, under Ohio law, we don't have a formal role in that, but we have tried to be a good partner in terms of sharing the information.
Good. Okay.
I personally have done a tour of a site here in our county.
What did you think of that?
And it was impressive. Doesn't even begin to describe it. You think you understand what we mean by drilling, but it's just an unimaginable engineering feat.
It really is.
We were just blown away. A whole team of us, some township trustees and other people from the community. It was great. But our board of commissioners has tried to take in as much information as we can and share information whenever possible. And I personally, like I said, have tried to just get good information out to folks so they understand the safety issues, that there's not a safety concern, but try to answer their questions specifically instead of just some generic, oh, trust me, it's safe, that there's scientific data to back it.
Well, that's good. Well, let's take that as an example then. Maybe I am just John Jude Public, and I know you, and I know you're a commissioner, and I know you do your research, and you know what you're talking about. And if I were to come up to you at the grocery store and say, gee, John, I'm real worried about this industry. I just don't know where to go to get information. I have got some concerns. What would you tell me while we're in the line at the grocery store?
Well, I would tell you, first of all, that if you're not going to do any research beyond our conversation, my 11-year-old and I live in this community. We live in the middle of among the hottest areas in Ohio, yes. And I would not be here with my daughter and my pets if it weren't safe.
Well, okay? The pets included as well.
The pets included.
That's important.
Okay,
sure.
Yeah. So it's safe.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to just take me at my word, and you should not, we all want to do research for ourselves. I'd point you to a host of websites that are not directly sponsored by energy companies, but that are simply the energy industry, that are neutral in nature,
yep.
that are just factual.
Yep.
Energy in depth comes immediately to mind. To send people to those websites so they can read it for themselves and not have to take anybody at their word.
It is. It's really those third-party validators, whether academic or some economic, or the chamber or something like that. That's an outside third party that can say, yes, I take everything in hand. I'm going to churn it out. I'm going to think about it and produce some results.
Right. And
it's really that's for folks. And that the Ohio Revised Code, we often tell people, it reads like a DVR manual. But if you really want to know exactly what the rules are, the Ohio Revised Code, Chapter 59, will tell you anything that you need to know. So let's take today, for example, then let's move ahead maybe 5 or 10 years. Where do you see Portage County or Garrettsville or this area moving forward, and what kind of development do you think is going to happen here?
Well, everything that I've heard says that it will simply be exponential. So what that means is the jobs that it creates will grow. More jobs and better jobs, good paying jobs. It means the landowners who serve to financially gain from literally doing nothing. I mean, that's talk about the American dream.
Pretty easy, isn't it?
Own the property, get a check.
Not bad.
And I laugh about it, but that's important. There are farms in my county that have been saved based on the revenue from energy exploration.
Have
and then
you
at the
talked
end
to any
of
of
the
those
day,
folks?
a handful.
Any good stories?
A handful, yeah. I think they're probably our best success story was down in Suffield, a very large farm that revenue from the energy industry ultimately from a contract. They were able to save. I think it was their dairy farm, which is a great outcome.
That's good.
A great outcome.
Absolutely.
So yeah, we're very happy to have energy here, and ultimately the goal for all of us is the same. We want safe, clean energy at an affordable price, and if we get more money and more jobs in the process, that's just great. So.
Well, that's exactly it. And one of the key things that we always talk about too is really the concept of any community that consumes energy should produce energy. And that could be an all the above approach too. As you know, more laptops, iPads, and everything else, we're going to be needing more energy, not less. So there's obviously conservation is part of that conversation, and we need to talk more about that. But if there's an opportunity for Portage County or Northeast Ohio to contribute to that Ohio or that national energy platform, really with oil and gas development, that's an opportunity for them to do that. So it's a very exciting conversation. So is there anything that maybe the industry needs to be doing, or maybe the state regulators or the administration? Is there a gap that needs to be filled, or are there questions that are still out there that need to be addressed?
Well, I think that a lot of the people in the community don't understand really who's in charge here. You know, they have a general notion that there is an energy company. They have a general notion that government regulates, and then they just hear a lot of noise in between.
Sure.
So I think everybody would be well served to have the starting place that the state of Ohio is the appropriate regulatory agency, Department of Natural Resources.
Yep, absolutely.
So when questions come to elected officials like myself at the local level, I'm happy to take those questions and happy to answer them. But at the end of the day, local elected officials don't have any authority to regulate. Which brings up something that might be a little off topic. I've heard some interest in local regulation of these. And I think my response to that is, well, if we have a hard time with budgets, with government the way it is, why do we think that if we multiply that times 88, it wouldn't take exponentially more money? You know,
yeah,
so
there's some definitely challenges there.
Yeah,
and the expertise is low too. You know, a lot of
absolutely.
towns where if I can be, you know, where the mayor runs the filling station, you know, there's an opportunity there to maybe they don't have that geological background or that science background. So I think there's some challenges there where there's some municipalities who want to do something but need to rely on the state and the state regulators for their level of expertise.
Exactly, and that goes back to the safety we talked about before. You know, I want everybody in my community and the other 87 counties to be safe. So I don't just want an engineer or a geologist. I want the best.
Yep.
And I know with certainty that that's what we're going to get as long as it's centralized. We can't have the best in 88 places.
Well, then it gets to a scenario where they're all doing it a little bit differently.
Exactly.
And that's where you could maybe run into some pitfalls, to have a standard set of codes that the state has to, enforce. And that's really what it becomes, is boots on the ground for enforcement of those tough regulatory code. I think that's where the rubber meets the road.
That's exactly right. That's exactly. So
well,
that's important for people to understand.
It really is, and that's part of the conversation as well too. So as we close out here, Tommie and Joe, are there any other final comments or maybe messages for folks that are checking in on this that you'd like to talk about Portage County? Brag a little bit about Portage County.
Sure.
Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us as we close out here?
Sure. I guess I just want to say that we are a great community, and our landowners, our families, our business owners, it takes all of those groups to sustain the energy industry. So sure, there's something that they're drilling for, and that's why they're here. Yep. But if there are no businesses to eat in, if there are no places to live while they're here, they leave because there's nowhere to stay. So I'm really, really proud that my county has come together and enjoyed the financial boost of it, but we are very hospitable and happy to have these folks here. Well, that's good. It's win-win.
Well, there you go. That's because everybody has a chance to succeed, not only the supply side or the producing side, but get a place to get a good burger and a place to wash your car and fill up and everything else. So that's certainly part of the conversation too. Well, Tommie, Joe, thanks for joining us today.
Sure, happy to be here.
Thank you very much. And for more information, visit us at eidohio.org. Thank you.
Thank you.